Hi, Lakeisha. How are you today?
Good. How about you, Kendra?
I'm doing good. Thanks for asking. How have things been since our last visit?
Good. Still moving along. It was like 2 weeks ago now that we met. I'm am really trying, to meet those goals and keeping track and, a record of what it is I'm doing and, just staying focused is the main thing. And I've been doing a really good job with doing so, using my supports, my family as in a moment of weakness, being able to communicate more with my son's father, So that helps, being able to really speak up and say what it is that I need and reach out to those that I need in the time of help and keeping track, staying focused.
Yeah, good, great job. Like, I think that's awesome that you have been able to, especially keep track of where you're at because then you can see what is working and what isn't working.
Mm, I agree. And so far it's working.
Okay. What, so what has communication been looking like?
Simple communication that kind of builds and leads on to something else. I'll start with, hey, how was your day? Or let me tell you this great thing that happened to me today, or this special piece of mail that I received. And it just snowballs to something greater, or I'm really feeling lonely, or I'm tired, or just whatever the case may be, I'm feeling more likely to tell him
Good. I'm happy to
that.
hear that. And what about the drug use? How has that been?
A lot less. I'm down to like one time and a half. I don't use as much. So where I was going 3 times a day, I'm still doing twice a day, but the amount is a lot less. Yes. And I
Good.
feel like it's lessened because of the communication that I have, that it fills that void in a way. That's what I was missing, that connection more than anything.
Yeah. And we've talked about that pattern before is feeling that you've been missing that, like feeling alone.
Yes, indeed. So something's
Is there
working.
any, good. Is there any of your goals that we need to revisit or adjust or anything like that? How do you feel that those are? Do we need to adjust any of them?
No, no. There's still enough time to continue on, and I don't see any major changes that's needed right now. It does make me feel good to know that they're not set in stone, that there is some flexibility.
Yeah. Yeah, I want you to always know that we can always go back and adjust if we need to or modify and change to whatever fits where you are.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
I think that it'd be good to put some, interventions in place that we can do here in therapy and some that you can do on your own if you're open to that.
I'm open to it. hmm
Okay.
So interventions meaning treatments.
Yeah, just some things that can help you get to where your end goals are. So help you start to achieve your end goals and be able to start seeing you know, some movement in those. Yeah.
Okay.
So one thing I want you to know before we start that is, I'll suggest some interventions, and if you don't like any of them, you are more than welcome to say, that one's not going to work for me, and there's no feelings that will be hurt. Like these are just some that are available, and if they don't work, then we'll come up with some different ones.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah. So I want you to know it's all in your court. Okay. So if you're open to it, one of them that I want to try works a little bit with where you are with your drug use right now
Okay.
and where you see yourself going, because that's the biggest thing for this. And so um, this one's going to take a little bit of imagination, and it's one that we'll do here in office together. And so if you're open to it, I'm going to pull this empty chair over so that you can see it. Does that Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so we have this empty chair here now. So I want to use a technique that allows you to talk to we're gonna put you and your like yourself right now in this empty chair. You're gonna picture yourself there. And you're gonna talk to yourself from a future self.
Mm.
And so from a future self of where you are if you don't change.
If I don't
So
change, I'm gonna lose
yeah,
custody of my kids. My health is gonna be
okay.
poor. I'm gonna have broken relationships with my family and my friends. I don't want that.
Okay. So then are you open to having a conversation with yourself about that?
Sure, I can do that.
Okay. So based off of the things that you just said of, you're going to have broken relationships, you're going to lose custody of your kids, why don't we put the person you're talking from as a 10 years from now?
Okay.
Okay, so
Okay.
remember your present day is
I'm
right
here.
there in this empty chair, and 10-year
Uh-huh.
old now is in that chair. So what would you tell your present day self?
Oh, my present day self, I'm gonna lose myself if I don't do something, if I don't change the way I cope, change things that I do, change the way that I think. I'm gonna lose who I am, my identity, along with losing the custody of my children. I'm gonna be bankrupt. I'm gonna lose a lot financially. My health is gonna be poor. If something don't change, it would only get worse.
Yeah. So now what do you hear your current day self telling you?
What do I hear my current day self telling me,
Now that you just said those things.
right? From a 10-year perspective and now current day. I got to do something. I got to stop talking about it. It seems like I know what I want to do. I just got to do it. I need to put those things into action. I've just got to do it.
So what would the future self say about having to just do it?
Just do it. Come on, I'm here for you. We got each other. Let's go. You got a lot to live for. So much more planned for you. 10 years from now, I can see you, doing your career, having a career, having healthy children that's, 1 and 10 years old, And so it's a lot to look forward to. There's a great plan in store for you. Come on, let's go. Let's get it.
And how does your current self feel hearing those words?
I feel overwhelmed because I don't see the future. I have a hard time looking that far because I'm so focused on the present that it's paralyzing to me. It's overwhelming and just causes me so much anxiety to think about what my life could be. Although it's something better, definitely. I just get fearful over the unknown. Yeah.
And does your future self have any advice for you for that?
Trust the plan that our God has for you. You hear the affirmations and the encouragement from your family, your friends that you can do it, listen to it, follow it. You're not alone. We're here to support you. You have a great counselor, you have a great support system. Despite everything you got going on, you got some good people who care about you. And one day at a time, one step at a time. That's how we move forward. That's how we get ahead. Is by just taking one moment at a time.
How did it hear in your current day to hear that?
Mm,
That there is a plan.
Still, that anxiety. I just don't know. I hear it. I believe it in a way, but then I'm doubtful. Like, something could be great out there for me. Little old me. I'm nobody. And especially now that I'm addicted to drugs and pregnant, it's such a bad look. and to know that there's possible good for me, on the horizon. I just feel like I'm not worthy of that. Like, no way, can't be. It's too good to be true.
Yeah. Too good to be true.
Hmm.
And what does that look like if it's too good to be true?
I feel like I'll get there, but it won't last. I don't know. I'm just looking for the next worst thing to happen. Life has been so challenging for the last few years. It's become the norm. You know, too good to be true. I may see the sunshine, won't last long, and when the dark clouds come, I feel like I'll be right back to where I started.
And what can the future you tell your current day self about the struggles that they've had to go through?
What do I tell my future self about what I have had to go through?
What does your future self tell your current self, the struggles that they've had to go through and now where they are? What
Right.
words of advice can she give?
Live through it, go through it, breathe through it. It's gonna be okay. Um, there's a future, and it's just I would tell her that although everyone else has faith and believe, you have to believe it for yourself in order to get there. That's just a part of and even in recovery, that's one thing about it is just changing the way you think about it. Although it looks bad, it's how you perceive it, how you look at it, and in all efforts to go better. You just gotta look at things differently, despite the odds that are up against you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So we're gonna close the empty chair. So we're gonna get rid of the chair and just talk about that process for a second.
Yeah,
How did that feel to hear some motivation from yourself?
it was different because I can hear it from someone else, but to hear myself say it out loud was different. Made a stronger connection. That I was the person on the other side of the table talking to myself. It's awesome when I see my mom or my dad over there. When I see me over there, I feel like I can really do it because this is me talking to me. This is me, my future. I feel encouraged by that.
Your future.
Mhm. My choice.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Do you feel that it was helpful to have it be from your own self rather than, like you said, your mom or your dad?
Definitely. Very helpful. It became insightful. No one knows me better than me. But to know what it is that I want, the direction, the goal that I have, it's mine. I get to choose that. So yeah, definitely. It became more insightful, more powerful, more enlightening because it was me. Mhm.
Where did you feel it in your body as you talked to yourself?
Where did I feel it? It was more so in my chest. I know it starts in the mind, the brain, but I felt it, definitely within my heart. There was just something that hit me that made me feel very hopeful, very tenacious, and excited, optimistic about my future. I felt that I was in control of it.
You said something that I caught on interesting is that there was something that hit you, like, that
Mm.
stuck out. Would you share that with me?
Yeah. For years, no one ever told me that I can make it, that I can do it, that there's change. How you hear things like that, but you don't really take it on or believe it for yourself. And, hearing myself say it gave me just the reason to, gave me another sense of motivation that it's possible, that I can do it, that I have other little, I have little kids that depends on me, for their health, their well-being. It matters because I'm responsible for it. I felt even more encouraged to do it because I have other people that's rooting for me, literally.
And in a way, you're rooting for yourself this way.
I was my own cheerleader. That's right.
Mhm. Yeah. And you were able to stay present
Uh-huh.
in being that cheerleader for yourself.
That's right. That's right.
So this is one technique that we can use over and over again if we need to. And, it just makes it nice so that you do get to hear it from your own self. And
Yeah.
we can do it the other way and have it be from a past self to your current self. It can go both ways. Just giving you, like you said, that cheerleader.
Mhm. Okay, I like that idea. Very different, but I like it. I have an open mind to it.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, I like that you're open to it. Um, how how are the withdrawal symptoms going?
It's difficult because as I feel them, the baby feels them. And I'm sick. And it's like, with having so much pain, I feel that, it could cause me to have the baby early, cause me to have like labor symptoms. I want to avoid that. And I think that's why I take it because I'm dependent on it. And I'm afraid of not having it, and what the damage it can do to my baby.
The damage
Yeah.
that it can do to your baby.
hmm it's just the worst thing. I just never thought that my life would be like this. And I feel so stuck, like it's my fault, for Christ's sake, it's my baby. And because of me, my bad choices, my baby will be born addicted to something, So I gotta get the help. I believe that there's hope that the baby will be okay, once we're in the hospital and things like that. But I gotta make better choices. I gotta have a healthy baby. Yeah. I don't want to have my baby inside of a jail. I want to be like a normal person, a normal woman to experience that, in a in a loving environment and not by myself.
When you said that you don't want to, like, that you feel stuck, like your whole face just changed, and it was almost like you could see the sadness through your eyes.
Mhm. It is. Yeah, that's exactly how I feel. Just an overwhelming rush of sadness. Like, there's got to be a brighter day, but how do I get there? When is it coming? I hear that it's coming. Where is it? Has God forgotten about me? Although I have so much positivity in my ear, I have problems with hearing and believing it for myself.
Oh, it's hard to take that responsibility.
Yeah, it's hard. Yep.
If you're open to it, that kind of can lead us to another intervention of, like you said, on one hand, you can hear, like, this is what I should be doing, and you can take ownership of it. On the other hand, it's almost like you have the devil saying, no, this isn't your fault. You don't want to do that. Like, it sounds like you kind of got this teeter totter going back and forth in your head.
Mhm. Yeah, exactly. Indeed.
Does
Yep.
that does that
That
sound
sums it
accurate?
all up. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So something I'd like to do, if you're open to it, is it's what we call um, it's called I statements.
Okay.
So when you're in your reasonable mind and you can say, like, I know that this is my fault. These choices I've made have caused me to be here. That's when you're using I statements. But when you have the devil on the other side that's telling you, well, it's not your fault. You deserve to be alone. All these things that you've expressed in this session. we have to take ownership and responsibility for those.
Yeah, I
So
believe
what
that.
are so what are some of the things that when the devil's sitting there telling you these, these negative things, what are some of those thoughts that run through your head?
Negative thoughts.
Mhm.
I'm not worthy of it. I don't deserve it. Why me? Um, I'm not smart. Not as pretty as the other girls. Um, I'm a bad mom. I'm irresponsible. I'm lazy. I'm a slacker. Passive. I'm timid. Fearful.
Okay. Does that sum most of them up?
Hmm.
Okay. So now on this other board, so we have them listed on this board. On this other board, we're going to rewrite them and take some ownership to them.
Okay.
So, so your first one that I have wrote down, we'll just do a few of them, is that I don't deserve it. So how do we take responsibility for that? So an example would be that, if it was that you were horribly depressed, um, to take responsibility could be that I have created my horrible depression.
Hmm.
Does that make sense?
I. Hmm. So I possess it. I
Yes.
take ownership.
Hmm. So our first one is I don't deserve it.
Um, God, I'm trying to think. I don't deserve it because of my bad choices or things that I could have done differently.
So I don't deserve it because of my choices.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the next one we have is that I'm not as pretty.
To me, I'm not as pretty as the other girls because I do not take as much initiative, I would say, to be feminine or to look feminine. I don't take the time for myself to do better. Self care.
Okay, I'm a bad mom. How do you take responsibility for that? So this one's close to the same thing as like that my marriage is in shambles. So in order to take responsibility to that is that my marriage is in shambles and I am responsible for that.
Okay. I'm a bad mom and I'm responsible for that.
Yeah.
No one else's fault but mine.
Okay. I am irresponsible.
I'm irresponsible because of me, I'm irresponsible and I take ownership of that.
Okay. I am passive.
Oh, I am passive because I choose to be. I take ownership of it.
Okay, so see, now we have both of these. And on this board, we have just us not taking responsibility for them, that we just, these are what we're given pretty much, is what we're saying is, I am just these things and I don't know why almost, you know? And on our pink board, it's that, okay, I still have those things and I still am those things, but I'm choosing to take ownership of them.
Right. I think that's the first step of changing them.
Yeah.
By changing those behaviors, by taking ownership of them.
Yeah, I think that's great. I think you're right on that. In order to change a behavior, we have to know that we've created the behavior.
Right.
How did it feel doing that experience, like that exercise of taking ownership of things that we don't like?
I don't know. It felt like I had a mirror, literally, like right in front of me. It was me talking to me, and it was me, accepting those, accepting those things that I cannot change, or I just felt like there was something that I could do to change those things. Initially, I felt like I was blaming or being a victim, but now I'm taking ownership of it. I have the control to change it. It's fixable.
Yeah. And how did that make you feel?
Empowered. I felt strong. I felt that I could make it.
You can make it.
Felt that I could make it.
What does that look like?
I'm seeing myself on 10 years from now, being able to, effectively talk about what it is that I'm going through and not resort to substances and bad habits, bad lifestyle choices. It makes me see things clearer on my future. It gives me hope. It gives me that rainbow on the other side of the road that is possible.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So is that something that you can do on your own?
Yeah.
If you're feeling like you have more of this side of the teeter-totter playing up and you're trying to give more blame away, even if you just journal and you say like, okay, these are where I'm at, and these
Yeah.
are the things that I'm going to start taking responsibility for.
Right. Makes sense.
And if you want to take it one step farther, you can even then turn those things into a positive affirmation.
Right. And that's initially what I was thinking. Instead of being lazy, I am strong. I am assertive. I'm strong. I'm not timid. I am beautiful. I'm accepted. I'm loved. I'm wanted. I'm needed. That's initially what I was thinking. Not realizing that I need to take responsibility of it as well.
Yeah. So maybe once you write the list, then maybe, for the next couple of weeks, then you could do positive affirmations for them of, I am these things.
Right. I'm the total opposite.
Yeah.
That's true.
I think you are right on track to setting a goal that's working for you.
Right. Definitely.
I'd like to talk about the withdrawal symptoms a little bit and how you're coping with that.
Yeah. It makes me feel real sick. Physically, I'm sick. I'm vomiting. It gives me a lot of diarrhea. I feel dehydrated. Neither of those things is good for the baby. So I try to avoid the withdrawals, although I'm trying to fight them and, wean myself away from the drugs. I feel like I need it. Physically, I need it. And maybe I can get some help or some support with, the withdrawals. Maybe there is some medication or something that you can do for me and my baby to keep it safe during the withdrawals.
Yeah, I think that, something that I would suggest is maybe methadone. We'd have to
Yeah.
check with your doctor to see if it's safe while pregnant. I'm not sure on that.
Yeah. I had some friends who were part of that program, methadone and Suboxone.
Hmm.
And a lot of times the insurance didn't cover it, so it was like out of pocket, but it gave me an outpatient treatment. I was still able to work and, there for my family. So I'm familiar with that program and I've seen it work for her. So I believe it will work for me too. I
Yeah.
don't even need a referral. I just go up there.
Yeah. And the good thing about it is that it has been around for a long time. They've been using it since like the 1960s. And where it is an oral, like pill that you take, it's slow release. So you're not getting that instant high that you're getting with the heroin. So it
Right.
can help wean that off, but can help with those side effects that you're
Mm-hmm.
experiencing from the withdrawal.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Yes, ma'am. And I heard that it was safe, and there have been a lot of babies who are addicted to heroin, but because of that medication, it has helped with those withdrawal symptoms and weaning. It has.
So if you're open to it, I would encourage you to reach out to one of those facilities
Mm-hmm.
and see if maybe adding that into your withdrawal, like into your decrease, might make you feel a little bit better.
Yeah, yeah, physically, yeah, definitely. There's a clinic not too far from home, so it's definitely worth, going up there to just hear or read some of the literature.
Yeah. So you said physically.
Mhm.
Is that the only way you think it'll help is physically?
No, I think that's a good start physically, but all around because they also have a counseling component. So it's not that I'm going to the clinic for just the methadone or the Suboxone. They also have counselors there who have good resources, but various things in the community. So they have like this, a combination of treatment options. Yeah, yeah.
So one of our other goals last couple weeks ago was sleep. How is that going?
Well, I remember we were talking about having a routine, having a regimen of things to do that helps to wind down for the day, listening to music or taking a bath, and those
Mhm.
things work. You know, sleep is something that we all need and something that we all do, but I never thought to add those little components to it. So it works. Sleeping with some soothing music, drinking warm milk, it helps.
Good. The good thing about that too is it helps you to be in the present and
Right.
be mindful of where you are for that day.
Yeah. In that moment. Yeah. I believe that.
How does that make you feel to be mindful of where you are right then?
I never did anything like that. I didn't even think anything like that was possible. Right? I would see other folks meditating on TV and things like that. I'm like, how do you zone out and focus on something that you don't see right there? I didn't think it was possible, but it works. It does. Mindfulness keeps me feeling grounded. I feel
I
in
think some,
control.
oh, I think sometimes we get so caught up on almost like this swing effect where we're so focused on the future and then we're coming back to the past and then the future.
Yeah,
We're swinging back and forth so much that we're never stopping that swing to be in the
right.
present.
That's good. I never even heard that metaphor, the swing. That's good.
Are you comfortable with being in the present?
Yeah, it's reality for sure. But yeah, I can handle that.
Reality.
Mhm. It's like what's true, what's factual is what it is right now, wherever it may be, good or bad. It's the truth.
How does that make you feel? Because you've said before you have a hard time looking at the truth.
Yeah. I'm really trying to change the way I think about things, but I just can't help but to think, just resort back to what it is that I'm used to. That's those bad thoughts, those negative thoughts about myself.
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah,
that can be a time to use those positive affirmations because that does keep you in the present.
right. That I'm beautiful, that I'm worthy,
Mm-hmm.
loved and accepted. I'm calm and I'm patient. I'm honest and I'm kind. Yeah, I see that.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, our other goal was around parenting. Do you want to talk about how that's been?
Well, I've been more calm and patient. To my little boy, I'm listening to him. I'm playing with him. Normally, I'm too tired or trying to get away to avoid from having to play with him. But I make time, set aside time to play with him, talk to him, ask him about his day at school. Try to plan ahead with planning for his lunches or his dinner, so it won't cause me so much anxiety. So I try to do little things. The biggest thing was listening to him and not yelling, jumping to conclusions. And what are you doing? Where are you at? And be more calm and patient with him.
Okay.
Yeah.
So your statement last time was you said that I am a bad parent.
Yeah. I felt like I was always yelling. I was always demanding, not kind with my words at all. And I just feel like that stressed my baby out. Like that's anxiety. Causes anxiety.
So can we do another intervention to help us take ownership of that?
Okay. How would that look?
So if you're open to it, so the way it would look is that we'd start out by like somewhat quietly just saying, I am a bad parent. And then we're going to say it a little bit louder, and then a little bit louder, and then a little bit louder until you're saying it as loud as you feel you want to say it, of saying I'm a bad parent.
Okay. Would that make me feel better or?
So the hope is that we're going to desensitize those words of I am a bad parent.
Gotcha. Okay.
You know, does that sound like something that might work?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Are you open
I
to
like it.
try it?
I'm open to try it.
All right, let's try it.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. I always feel good, after I come and talk to you. I try to hold on to, those things that you've encouraged me throughout the week, once I'm home. But I feel so much better once I come in. I feel like you get it. You understand.
Yeah. And if we can desensitize those powerful words that we're struggling with of, I am a bad parent, then hopefully we can cause the opposite of being able to accept like how to change and work towards becoming a better parent.
Yeah, I believe that. I believe that. Okay.
Because we take away that charge of, these sometimes words just get this stigma that has become so powerful and we become so locked on them. And so those it's some simple words of I am a bad parent. That's 4 words that you're letting take ownership over you.
Yeah. That's so damaging. Those 4 little words. Then I go to feeling like, when I say it, that's who I am really. There's no changing it. You're either good or you're either bad. But yeah, changing the way I think about it would change a different sort of behavior that follows it too. I
Yeah.
understand.
Because tell me what it looks like. I want you to be a bad parent. What does that look like?
yelling, screaming, spanking all the time, not communicating or asking what's wrong, not being supportive, being lazy. Dad, you take them to school today. Dad, you pick them up. Not taking on a responsibility of my own. Being a bad mom is not cooking the right food and just letting them fill up off of restaurant food all the time, takeouts, not really being attentive to his nutritional needs, watching cartoons and not interacting with him, not helping him with his homework. That's a bad mom. A mom that doesn't know her kids and not trying to know us. Bad mom.
Now say the things you said to me just a second ago, what you've been doing with your son.
I'm more patient. I'm calm. I plan ahead with fixing his meals. I plan ahead with preparing his clothes so it lessens my anxieties. I turn off the TV. I interact with him more. I go outside. I play with him. I communicate with him. I ask him about school. I help him with his homework. So the total opposite of everything that I once was doing. I'm defying the odds to do it, and what's best for my son.
Yeah. So see, those two things aren't matching up, right? I'm a bad parent, but I'm doing all these things.
Right. I may not be the best, but I'm definitely trying to be faithful at this process. Yeah.
Yeah. How does that make you feel?
Empowered, definitely. I feel like I can, sometimes I feel like I can't, I have the weight of the world, but then sometimes I feel like it's me against the world and I can do this. I got it.
Empowerment's a word you've said a lot in this session.
Mhm. I feel like it comes with a lot of power, authority, empowerment. I just never felt that I could make it, that I could do it, anything different. Nobody ever told me that. So maybe with me saying it so much that it will actually sink in. I can do this. I got
Yeah,
it.
I really like that.
Yeah.
I think you've done a great job of expressing, to yourself how you feel.
Right. Yeah. It's been all about me today. Something that rarely happens, but I feel good about it.
Yeah. Where do you feel that? Where do you feel that goodness, and what does that feel like?
Oh man. I feel it in my chest, like it makes me smile, gives me hope. Oh, it allows me to enjoy the warm weather, smell the flowers, those type of things. Makes me feel real good. Feels like it's lightened a burden, it's lifted. Yeah.
I it's good for you to think about where you're feeling it and how you're feeling it, because then when those other feelings kind of come back, you can reflect back on, okay, but when I feel empowered, this is how I feel. And I like
Right.
that feeling.
Yeah. And I want to stay there in that feeling. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Exactly how I feel.
Well, as we're getting close to wrapping up a session, I just want to thank you for sharing the hard things that you've had to share and being honest with me and, being open to try some things that might not have been super easy to try at first. And,
Yeah.
like I said at the beginning, these are just interventions that you can try. If some of them don't resonate with you, okay, like we'll find new.
Okay. I
But
like that.
do you feel that at least some of them were helpful?
Oh yeah, definitely. All of them was helpful.
Okay.
They were all helpful.
Okay.
Yeah. Hello?
Oh, there we go.
It
Okay.
was just a long silence.
So if you're open to it, then if you're open to doing some feedback, I would love to get some feedback on our session.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
I liked it from the beginning how there was choices. I felt like it really was all about me. Um, I like how everything that you presented to me, you asked if you're comfortable with it. Would you like to try it? The therapeutic alliance was present from the very beginning. It has been, throughout all the other sessions. No matter how crazy I feel my situation is, I feel like you get it, you understand, and I'm not judged. Despite how horrible of a mom I am, you don't make me feel that much more worse. You definitely give me another way to think about things. So you empathize well. You restated how I felt. You was very in tune with the way I process things. You said I can see the downfall, or I can see the change in your mood. Can you tell me about that? You also asked, so how does that make you feel? I heard you say this a lot. What does that mean? That was like, little things I would have never caught on to. And, we're studying the same things. So to, see that and to catch that, it was very powerful. But yeah, I like how I was the center of everything. Everything wasn't, oh, I did this research and I think this would be great for you. What you think about it? You didn't hype it up and then ask my opinion, because then I would have felt like I was letting you down if I didn't like it. So no, you didn't make me feel that way at all. It was very, very present, very good eye contact, and you allow for silence. You nodded with nothing you said, but your expression made me feel like you heard me.
Okay. Well, thank you for that feedback. I really appreciate it. Um,
Yeah.
if we were going to rate like your relationship with me on today's
Mm.
session, that 0 being that you didn't feel like I heard what you had to say, and 10 being that I heard what you had to say and that you felt connected and respected with me, where would you rate us?
Oh, definitely. Top of the scale, a 5.
So it's out of 0 and 10. So about a middle.
Okay. 10 would be the highest.
Yeah.
Definitely the highest.
Okay.
No
Okay.
complaints.
Okay. And as far as goals and topics, we're going to use the same scale of 0 being that you didn't feel like we worked on what you wanted to talk about or your goals. And 10 would be that we only talked about what you wanted to and we only worked towards your goals.
Yeah, I felt like I definitely was the center of everything. And that made me feel real good. Because I don't get that at home. I don't get that nowhere else. So it was different. It was surprising almost. But I loved it.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
Definitely a 10.
Good to hear. I'm glad you got some validation. We all need validation.
Uh-huh. No matter how crazy it is, we need validation.
Okay, so what about the approach and methods I took? So 0 being that you did not feel was a good fit for you, and
Mm-hmm.
10 being that you felt it was a good fit and you
Mm-hmm.
really liked the approach.
Yeah, the approach was different, right? Almost never, see a situation like that where someone implements talking to your future self 10 years from now. I've seen those instances where somebody was grieving and they had, didn't get the closure they needed. And so they were talking to their grandma in this empty chair. But I thought that the flip, I didn't even realize that I could use that approach on somebody who was struggling with addiction. So that was good. It was new. It was a different technique. I'm like, okay, it wasn't just cognitive behavioral therapy. It was something that totally different. I wasn't expecting it at all.
Okay. And so overall rating. So 0 being you felt like there was something really missing today, and 10 you feel like this session was right on and it fit you perfectly.
It was a 10. It fit me perfectly. Yeah. I felt like if I was really struggling with this would be the approach that worked. And it wasn't just one. There were several. The mindfulness, um, the speaking to myself in like a mirror form. What would your future self say to your current self? That was very relevant.
Well, thank you, Lakeisha, and I'm glad we had the opportunity I look forward to meeting with you again. And hopefully we can meet in a couple weeks.
Yeah, I like that.
Thank you. All right.
Thank you.
Okay.
That was really good. Really, really good.
Okay.
I'm speechless. Just everything was right on point. I felt that you was very prepared, that you had a plan, that you took the time to um, listen to everything that I talked about in previous sessions and apply them all today. You know, it all summed up well.
How do you feel that the empty chair went? Because
Man, I wasn't expecting that at all. I'm like, current self talk to new self. Because again, I was just so used to the empty chair pertaining to somebody who's struggling with, grief. And so for it to pertain to me, I was like, well, how is this going to work? But okay, yeah. The affirmation part was just right on. I liked that. It was always.
Did you feel it was helpful, or would you not recommend it?
It was helpful for me. But me as a professional or as a counselor, I would have never thought of it. I would have never thought to implement those things. So it was very helpful to me, but nothing I would have thought of on my own.
Anything that could have been better?
I hate that the sessions are so long. It seems so long and drawn out. I feel like I can get my feelings across in a shorter session and not feel unproductive. I don't know if that makes sense. But an hour-long session or 50 minutes or whatever, it's suffices to some people, but I don't really need that much time. It's just long, more than anything.
So did you feel like it was drawn out?
Yeah, I felt like it was almost draining because it was long. And not that it was your fault, it was part of the requirements. Just long. And when I was once working and with individuals with substance abuse and counseling, I had the requirement